Om Shri Padmatmane Namaham. Namaste devotees and Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our virtual Sunday morning service this very beautiful February 19th, 2023. As Wade mentioned yesterday during our Shivaratri Puja, we decided to move to virtual service today just to give everybody a break from traveling and to ensure that we still have some Sanatana Dharma that's being spread throughout our community. Before we start with our service for today, devotees, I ask that you join together with me as we sing this very beautiful bhajan as we prepare ourselves for our service for today. ज्ञान का सूरज चमकारे भगवान भक्त करे अमरा भगवान राधिका रे भक्त करे हमरा अधिकारी भगवान राधिका रे धर्म कर्म करे किरण बिचारे भगवान किरण बिचारे इन अखियन को प्रभु At this time, devotees, I ask that you join together with me now as we go ahead and clasp our hands and close our eyes. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax your spine, drop your shoulders, relax your neck, your forehead, relax your entire body. With your eyes still closed, devotees, I want you to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you. One that helps you concentrate, one that helps you focus. And join together as we chant our opening. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyati Isha यत्किञ्चा जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जता मा कृतार्थस्य स्वधनम् ॐ सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै हरि ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम. We continue on, devotees, by chanting the most powerful mantra in this universe. We join together as we chant the Gayatri. Om Manakshe Varane Devi Akshare Brahmavadini Gayatri Jagat Matharya Vishwayoni Namostute. Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsavithur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsavithur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuri Bhuva Swaha Tatsavithur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Hare Om Shanti 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 Hare Om. Brings Guru Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we join together as we offer obediences to that remover, sustainer, that mover, destroyer, and also creator of all obstacles in our life. We offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganapati Namaha. Om Jnanam Bhutanadi Sevitam Kapitha Palachara Bhakshanam Om Asutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Ganesh Varpada Pankajam Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurmi Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksham Rakshatrirukya Rakshakar Bhaktanam Bhayam Karitha Trata Bhava Bhavaranavar. As we continue to offer obediences to Lord Ganesh, devotees, we chant this bhajan as we request Lord Ganesh remove any unnecessary obstacles from our way. That way we may have a successful, happy, and safe week. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Ladavana Bhugalami Santa Kari Seva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Ekharutadaya Vanta Chara Mujamhari Mata ke Sindur Sohi Musa ke Sawari Dukhiyon ke Dukha Harat Paramananda Deva. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Andan ko agan ki koriyan ko khaya bhanjan ki putra dithi nirlan ko maya bhav se param maro nath bhajan karo tera. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva Mata Jaki Parvati Pita Mahadeva. जो तेरा ध्यान करो ज्ञान मिले उसको छोड़ तुझे और भान जाओ मैं किसको देवा कृपा करो अष्टारो मेरा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा. माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेवा. माता जाकी पार्वती पितामहादेवा। ओम श्री महागणाधिपते नमः। प्रेम से बोल गणेश भगवान की जय। As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer obediences to that mother of knowledge, learning, and music. That mother provides us clarity of mind and allows us to turn the knowledge we gain into wisdom. We offer prayers to Saraswati Mata. Om Saraswati Mahabhage Vidye Kamalarochine Vidyarupe Vishalakshmi Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Om Saraswati Namasturyam Vare Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhirabhavatu Me Sada Siddhirabhavatu Me Sada. Om Saraswati Namaha. Om. And as we continue on with our prayers to the mothers, devotees, we offer obediences to that universal mother that destroys all evils in our life. We offer our prayers to Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Mahadurgaya Namaha. Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swatha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Putardini Hardini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kararatri Namostute. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shalvitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Pushti-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Daya-rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. As we pray to Mother Durga, the prophets, we say, O Durga Mata, thou art the universal mother, and we, your children, worship you in your many forms. O Ma, we see was Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, O Ma, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha, we bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we offer prayers to Mother Durga, the form of the universal mother. Matri, Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstita. Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Dehi Sabhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yashune Dvesho Jahi. Om Prem Suro Saraswati Mata ki Jai. Prem Suro Adi Shakti Durga Mata ki Jai. As we continue on, devotees, we offer obediences to the most influential beings in the world. We offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata, or as we so refer to them in English, the nine planets. Om Navgraha Devataya Namaha. Brahma Murar Tripurara Kari Manu Shashi Bhume Suto Burhascha Guruscha Shukra Shanirahu Keto Sarve Graha Shanti Gara Bhavantu Sarve Graha Shanti Gara Bhavantu. And as we continue to pray for the Navgraha Devata, so today being Sunday, also known as Ravivar, we join together as we offer prayers to that being that exists in the form of the sun, and that sustainer of all life in this world. We offer prayers to Surya Narayan Bhagavan. Om Surya Narayan Prabhakara Namosturi Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Om Prem se bolo Navgraha Devata ki jai Prem se bolo Surya Narayan Bhagavan ki Continue on further with our prayers, devotees. We offer obediences to that sustainer of all things Dharma, all things righteous in this universe. We offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. Om Shri Vishnave Namaha. Om Shantakaram Bhujavishairam Padmanabham Surisham Vishwadharim Raganim Sadrisham Meghavararam Shobharam Om Lakshmikantam Kamalanayaram Yogibhiradhyanagamyam Vanne Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokekanatam Om Sashankara Chakram Sakiridhakundhalam Sapeta Vastram Sarasimurishanam Sahara Vakshastala Shobhikostu Bhashriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturabhujam Om Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. And finally, devotees, we offer obediences and prayers to that universal Father, that universal Guru, that destroys all evils. We join together as we offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Devotees, for those of you who are at home worshiping today, for those of you who are continuing to worship Lord Shiva, and for those of you who may be performing pujas onto your Shiva lingams, we join together as we chant the Shiva Linga Ashtakam as we continue to keep Lord Shiva in our minds. Brahma Murari Surarachitaling Niramanvasita Shobhitalingam Janama Jadukha Vinashakalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Deva Muri Praravarjitalingam Kamanam Garunakaraningam Ravana Daripaminashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Sarvasugani Sulepitalingam Mudhi Vivaradhana Haranalingam Siddhasuram Suravannitalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Mahamani Bhushitaringam Panipati Vishtita Shobhitalingam Dakshasuyajna Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Kumkuma Chandanalipitalingam Pankajara Sushobhitalingam Sanchita Papa Vinashanalingam Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Evanganarachita sevita lingam bhaivedha bhakti bhireva chalingam dinakara koti prabhakara lingam tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Ashtana Rupariveshtitalingam Sarvasamudbhavakaranalinga Ashtadharindra Vinashitalingam Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Sura Guru Suravara Pujitalingam Suravana Pushpa Sadarchitalingam Param Paramatmakalingam Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Nishtikam nidam punyam yahapate Shivasanhinam Shivalokamavatnodahira Shivena sahamodahira. Devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that they have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May the passage be as smooth and tranquil. Om Trayambakam Yajamani Sugandhim Pushnavardhanam Urvarukam Vandanatam Prithuram Shivamamrutam. Om Trayambakam Yajamani Sugandhim Pushnavardhanam Urvarukam Vandanatam Prithuram Shivamamrutam. Om Trayambakam Yajamani Sugandhim Pushnavardhanam Urvarukam Vandanatam Prithuram Shivamamrutam. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Kartiki Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Vasuki Namaha. Om Shri Samba Sada Shivaya Namaha. Prem Swara Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki Jai. Devotees, for all of us of our Guru, we offer a prayer to our Guru. If not, we take Lord Shiva or any day within our mind as our universal Guru, as we join together in prayer. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Om Dhyana Moolam Guru Murti Puja Moolam Guru Param Mantra Moolam Guru Vakyam Muksha Moolam Guru Prapar Prem Se Guru Deva ki Jai. Devotees, as we prepare for our sermon for today, I did give everybody some homework yesterday, which is to go do an act of service or an act of charity. I hope that has been done, but as we continue to get ready for our sermon and as we continue on with the rest of our puja today, I do highly encourage for those of you who are watching to use the chat function inside of YouTube if you have the ability to do so. If you're watching on your TV, you may not be able to do so as much, but if you're on a cell phone or if you're on a laptop or any sorts of mobile device, on a tablet, you should be able to use the chat feature. So please chat in the chat, say Jai Sita Ram. Please send some words of encouragement to any members who are here, who are watching, and I'll read those off for everybody as well. But I do encourage you all to use that chat function just so we have that sense of community, that sense of togetherness, even though we're still doing puja virtually for today. But before we commence with our sermon for today, devotees, we have to offer a few prayers like we always done in the past. And I know we've just offered them, but we still have to do it anyways because we're listening to the scriptures and hearing words of wisdom from Bhagwan. We offer prayers to Lord Ganesh to remove any obstacles that exist within our minds and in our way to prevent us from learning this material. We offer prayers to Mother Saraswati to bless us and grant us with a clarity of mind to turn this knowledge into wisdom. And we offer a prayer for all gurus who have laid the path before us to allow us to be able to sit here today to learn from the scriptures. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurvi Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Saraswati Namastuvyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Nesara Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Prem Sora Ganesh Bhagwan Ki Jai Prem Sita Saraswati Mata Ki Jai Prem Se Guru Gurudeo Ki Jai. Devotees, when we had last met and we were reading from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran about 2 weeks ago, we were in chapter 5 of book 2 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, which is the causes of all causes. It talks about creation, the manifestation of creation. And last time we heard about the 3 gunas in relation to creation. Those gunas are goodness, passion, and ignorance, sattva guna, raja guna, and tama guna. And Bhagwan was going to tell us, between this discourse between Lord Brahma and between Narad, about how those 3 modes of material nature relate to the modes of creation. We heard last from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Srimad Bhagavatam Puram Bhagavatam Puram Srimad Bhagavatam Puram Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puram Bhagavatam Shri Bhagavatam Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. Before I read into the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, I do encourage, if my father is listening, our president, or if any of my families are listening, to ask our president to go ahead and send me the post-service announcements. That way I can read those to all of you. But as we dive back into chapter 5 of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, again, chapter 5, book 2, we hear Lord Brahma say to Narad, of the goodness, passion, and ignorance, those gunas that were assumed by the external energy, there are 3 qualities of transcendence of the Almighty Lord, the Lord of time. There's maintenance, creation, and destruction. We talked about those, the Trinity. We know that there's trinities that exist in multiple religions. In Sanatana Dharma, we have the Trinity. The creator is Lord Brahma, the destroyer or destruction is Lord Shiva, and the maintainer is Lord Vishnu. The eternal transcendental person, under the influence of the basic qualities of material nature, is subjected to the conditions of cause and effect. This results in the manifestation of the symptoms of knowledge from goodness, activities from passion, and goods from ignorance. So we know that we're all subject to cause and effect. We do something and something's going to happen. We know that's the thing, that's pretty much how life works, right? You perform a function, something happens. If I drop my phone, you hear a noise. If I clap my hands, you hear a noise, right? If I take my glasses off, I can't see. Cause and effect. So we're all subject to cause and effect. And those things of cause and effect really relate back to those things. Knowledge comes from goodness. So if we do something, the effect that comes from goodness is knowledge. If we do something weird and we get an effect from it from passion, that's an activity. And a good, when we say good, I don't mean something that's good. I mean a physical item, an item that brings us pleasure by the senses that is unnecessary or innate. Those goods come from ignorance. That's the effect of ignorance. He, the witness of the individual soul, who is ruled by the symptoms of the 3 modes, the Supreme Lord and the beyond, the controller of everyone, as also myself, cannot be properly recognized in his progress, O Brahman. So if we follow the modes of material nature, we can't be acknowledged by Bhagwan. And that's something we have to recognize, and we've recognized within the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It says that in order for us to achieve salvation, to merge with the Lord, to become one with the Lord, we have to transcend the modes of material nature. the Lord of control by the potency of his material energy, thus from the independent will of his divine self, arrived at many appearances, taking upon himself their karma, being subjected to time and their particular natures. He manifested in this world multiple times, and he was subjected to the modes of material nature to be here with us, but to teach us a lesson. That's what that's saying. Because of the superintendence of the original person, the creation of Mahatmatvatva, the greater reality, took place from eternal time. There was a transformation of the modes, and from the modification of the original nature of the different activities found their existence. So the modes of material nature have changed over time with the different and various incarnations of Bhagwan. Because of the superintendence of the original person, oh no, sorry, I just read that. Because of the transformation of the greater reality though, in the beginning, passion and goodness dominated, but then countering in reaction, matter, material knowledge, and material activities found their vital existence. So in the beginning of time, passion and goodness existed, right? We only had those two modes of material nature. We didn't have ignorance. There wasn't ignorance. There was goodness. There was the people who were good, who were attained, who were very fixed onto Sanatana Dharma. And then there was those who were a little bit passionate about material things, material nature, their gold, their wealth, the things that are around them. So those are the two things that existed at the beginning of time. But then as time went on, another mode existed and was created. That modification of the material part of the self, the ego, manifested itself, as said, according to the three characteristics of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Thus, Prabhu, there was the division of the powers of guiding intelligence, knowledge of creation, and material evolution. We bore ignorance out of time. Time created ignorance, but they use a specific word here to talk about ignorance, and I think it's a very important word that we all learn and understand. Ego. Ego is where it says ignorance exists in this specific phrase. So during creation, the world was created. We talked about the chemical and the scientific aspect about that earlier on in the chapter. But now we're talking about humankind and nature and emotions and the way we act, think, and do things. So he's saying here specifically that originally goodness and passion existed, but over time, because of ego of the human, ignorance created itself. Ignorance was a new mode of material nature. Now, what is ego? Ego is essentially looking at yourself and thinking you're almighty, you're the greatest thing in the world, only focusing on you but not focusing on anything else. Now, if you're focusing on you, because sometimes we say self-care is something that's needed. Self-love is what's needed. Mental health is what's needed. But that's a little bit different than saying ego. Ego means that you're the only thing in the world and you're the most important thing in the world. Again, there's nothing wrong with the phrase of self-love and self-care, but you also have to recognize that our ultimate goal, according to the scriptures, is to attain the absolute. So when we have too much ego in our lives, we say egocentric, egotistical. It's people who are so inundated with themselves and only themselves that they'll do anything to make themselves happy. Anything in the world, even if that means hurting other people, falsifying gods, or even saying lies to please those around them. We see ego exist a lot in many different ways, shapes, forms, and many different professions. So ego here is a very powerful mode of ignorance, and it's something that humans have created over time, because over time we've lost faith and passion in those things around us, the goodness around us, and only have focused on ourselves. That's why yesterday, when we had Shivratri Puja, I mentioned to every single one of you that we have to do acts of goodness, kindness, acts of selflessness, acts of charity to those around us. Take the ego out of our hearts and do something good for other people. Live in the mode of goodness, but don't live in the mode of ignorance. So our egos hold us down. Ego was created through time, and it's never been a good thing. That modification of the part, the ego manifested itself. So of the material elements, first, the proto-material, invisible ether, evolved from the darkness that underwent transformation. The quality of sound as a subtle form, it's like it's seer relative to seen of all other matter. So matter was created and sound was created. By the transformation of the ether, the air found its existence, which is characterized by the quality of touch. Along with it also sound appeared as a characteristic that was remembered from the ether. Air also acquired everything else. So we're hearing about the creation of the world. Ether to air, to touch, to sound, to where we get fire, all of these things compounded together to make the world. So I'll read it all out. Air in its turn again transformed under the influence of time and generated from its nature the element of fire in response to what preceded. With its form there was likewise touch and sound as a hereditary burden of karma or the previous elements. Fire transformed or condensed from oxygen and hydrogen into water. Thus the element of taste came about, which consequently was accompanied by touch, sound, and form. But because of the vagueness of that transformation of water, next the smell of juice followed, that assumed the form as earth elements together with the qualities of touch and sound. So amongst creation, things started to be formed together. And we see how all of these things form together. It says all the way up until fire, water was created, and from water became taste. Now, humans are very big on taste. We're all inclined to eat something that we think is delicious, drink something that we think is delicious. If there was no moisture in your mouth, devotees, your sense of taste would not really exist. You need that liquid, you need that moisture in your mouth to help with those taste buds to taste things. But from the portions of taste that we developed, we also started to recognize that other things were created. Juice, sweetness, things that brought us what I would deem as physical pleasure, things that we get cravings for, things that lead us down that mode of passion, because now we're really, really in tune to things that we want to please us, and that leads us back down to ignorance. So we hear that a lot of the reason ego created, a lot of the reason ignorance was created is because through the thoughts and process of creation, different things were created for us to please our sense organs, and that is on us. We have to extend and get past those modes of sense pleasures. From the modes of goodness, the cosmic mind and the 10 gods created who act in goodness, the controller of the directions, the air, Vayu, the sun, Surya, the waters, Varuna, longevity, fire, Agni, heaven, Indra, and the transcendence, Vishnu in the form of Upendra, friendship, Mitra, and the guardian of creation, Brahma. From the transformation of passion of ego, the tenfold of the senses of action and perception generated, the mouth, the hands, the feet, and everything that creates the human, plus hearing, sight, touch, taste, and smell, and also the intelligence and the life force. And as long as these categories of the elements, the senses, the mind, and the modes of nature remain separate from the body, a man of mankind cannot be formed, O best of knowledge not it. When these elements were assembled by the compelling forces of the Supreme Lord and found their application, this, with both its true and illusionary, its spiritual materialities, came into being. So everything combined together, the modes of material nature, these physical elements, these scientific explanations about fire, air, sound, touch, water, taste, all formed together, and that is what created the material reality, this physical reality that we live in. There's also the spiritual around us, which we can't see, but we can connect to. So he's talking a whole lot about creation. It's a very elaborate way of talking about it. The universe, after countless millennia, having been submerged in the causal waters, was by the personal soul, the Lord, who animates the inanimate, awakened to its own time of the living. He himself, as the original person, the Purusha, appeared from within the universal egg to divide himself in thousands of divisions of legs, arms, eyes, mouths, and heads. The great philosophers conceive of all the worlds of the universe as the limbs of the body, which has 7 systems below the waist and 7 systems in the upper portion. The Brahmins represent the mouth of the original person, the ruling class constitutes his arms, the traders from the thighs, the Supreme Lord, and the laborer class manifests from his feet. Every single person is a part of Bhagwan. Every single person is a part of Bhagwan. And now while here it says it's specific, that doesn't mean that you classify a person based off the body part of Bhagwan that they are. So even though he says that Brahmins represent the mouth of the original person, it's just the fact that the Brahmins speak the words of Bhagwan. That's their duty, that's their job. And even though it says the labor class are manifested from his feet, that doesn't mean that they're the lowliest of classes. That's not a thing. We should not be looking at the way people have to live their duties as a caste system, so to speak. It is not a segregation of how we treat other people. Everybody is a portion and creation of Bhagwan. And even if you are the feet, so-called, of Bhagwan, you are one of the most vital, important parts. Without feet, we are not able to move. We're not able to be mobile. We're not able to do half the things that we can. Those who don't have feet have to do different things in different ways. And yeah, sometimes it's inconvenient for them. So I want you to take a moment of your time this week to think, if I didn't have a part of my body, so to speak, how would my life be different? How would I be able to live compared to how I live now? And remember how important that part of the body is to you. So again, for each one of these things, he's saying that a different level of responsibility that you live in your life is a different part of Bhagwan, but they're all equally valuable. The earthly lower worlds belong to his legs, so one says the ethereal worlds belong to his belly. The heavenly worlds from the heart are situated in his chest, while the highest worlds of the saints and sages are of the great souls. Above the chest up to the neck, one finds the world of the godly ones, and higher up on the neck, one finds the world of renunciation. The world of truth, Satyaloka, is found in the head. These worlds are all temporal, but the spiritual world, Brahmalok, the world of the supersoul, is eternal. With on his waist the first of the lower worlds, further down, the second on his hips, the third down to his knees, the fourth down to the shanks, the fifth down to his ankles, the sixth down to his feet, and the seventh down to the soles of his feet. The body of the Lord is filled with all the types, with all the worlds. One imagines the worlds alternatively, simply divided in 3, with earthly lower worlds situated on the legs, the ethereal middle worlds, and the regional navel middle words in the region of the navel, and the heavenly higher worlds found from the chest upwards. So, what is creation? Creation is the formation of this physical world that we live in. And we have to recognize there are three parts of the world. There's heaven, earth, and hell. And each part of those worlds is a different part of Bhagwan. It's the lower half, it's the middle half, and the upper half. Creation, we think, is this big cosmic bang, which it is. It is a big cosmic bang. But we're all situated within a universe, and that universe is created out of what? It's created out of Bhagwan. It's created out of this infinite, unmanifest thing that we have no ability to fathom. So we have to use analogies to be able to fathom how big this universe is. We say that the heavens are the upper parts of God. The world that we live in, the material plane, is the middle part, and then hell is the lower regions. And we have to understand that all of these things combine together. So even though we know that there's three worlds, they're stacked on top of each other, and we have to fathom that we live inside of this world. The manifestation and creation of this world, devotees, is created by the manifestation, and it's created by the components of Bhagwan himself. We live in Bhagwan, we exist in Bhagwan, we breathe Bhagwan, we live our daily lives in Bhagwan. Bhagwan is here, Bhagwan is there, Bhagwan is everywhere. So at no point in time, devotees, should we ever think in this world of creation, in this world of God that we live in, that we're greater than anything around us. We have to have humility, we have to be humble, we have to be personable, we have to be kind to those around us, because ultimately at the end of the day, devotees, that's what makes this world go around. That's what makes this world a better place to live in. The kindness that we share with each other and ourselves as well. So keep in mind what we talked about yesterday for Shivratri. I hope that you all went out and did some sort of act of service, act of charity. You can still go ahead and do it today if you'd like to. There's never a bad time to do an act of service, or never a bad time to do an act of charity. Always think about those around you. Always think about the world around you. To stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. Jai Sita Ram, Prem, Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. All right, devotees. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the last part of our service. And I ask that we go ahead and join together now as we go ahead and clasp our hands and close our eyes. Remember the world that you exist in. Everything around you is a portion of Bhagwan. Breathe in that air. And as you exhale, relax your spine, shoulders, relax your neck, your forehead, your entire body. I want you to try to merge your body with the Absolute. Feel the cosmic manifestation around you. Feel the world of Bhagwan on your skin, breathing in and out, and focus on that cosmic manifestation. Focus on that form of Bhagwan that's most present, that form that helps you concentrate. And join together as we chant our prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhatrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschat Dukha Bhag Bhave, Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam, Yatya Pujitam Maya Deva Paripuranam Tadastume, Papuham Papu Karmaham Papu Atma Papu Sambhuatrahimam Udari Kaksham, Sarva Papu Haru Hari, Om Tvameva Mahatmascha Pitha Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva, Om Asatoma Sadhamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityuma, Amritam Yamaya, Hari Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hari. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Hao Shanti, Antariksha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Rama Shanti, Aushadhe Shanti, Vanaspati Shanti, Vishwadeva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvevam Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti Sama, Shanti Devi Deva Shanti, Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Prem se Bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Saraswati Mata ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Adi Shakti Durga Mata ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Navgraha Devata ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Shiv Shakti Mandir ki Jai, Prem se Bolo Sanatana Dharma ki Jai. And with this, devotees, we've come to the end of our Sunday morning satsang, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us and being here with us today as we continue to do our virtual satsangs. Again, we're only doing this for this week. Next week, we'll be back in person. Next week, I believe, is the 26th of February. So next week, we will be back in person. Just have a few announcements in regards to things that are going on our calendar. Again, yesterday was our Mahashivaratri Puja. I loved seeing all the members and attendees we had out yesterday. We had a packed house. It was wonderful. The spiritualism was definitely there, and I appreciate and thank every single one of you for being there. The month of March, we've got a lot of events coming up and a lot of things that are happening. Monday, March 6th is the burning of Holika. On Tuesday, March 7th will be Holy Puja, it'll be known as Holika. That's actual holy day, so you can celebrate at homes. We will be doing a Sunday morning service celebration of Holi, and again, there's going to be an announcement on that one. That's probably not going to be that first Sunday, March 12th. It'll probably Sunday, March 19th. I will have a definitive date for you all next week during our Sunday morning announcements, and I'll make sure that Elise, our secretary, sends out an email to denote so. And then on Thursday, March 30th, we have Thursday, March 30th, we have Ram Navami Puja at the Mandir. Again, Thursday, March 30th is going to be Ram Navami Puja. Actually, I said at the Mandir, we're trying to debate right now, devotees, with the traffic and the way we're all trying to set everything up, if we're going to have that service in person or if we're going to be doing that virtual. So more to come, but just know Thursday, March 30th will be Ram Navami. And then finally, the last announcement that I have is for Chaitra Navratri. Navratri starts on Wednesday, March 22nd and ends Thursday, March 30th. So again, Wednesday, March 22nd, all the way to Thursday, March 30th. And during that time period, we will have one Sunday morning service, which is on Sunday, March 26th, which we will be celebrating Chaitra Navratri, performing our Navratri Puja. So for those of you who would like to offer dar, we'll have plenty of dar for you to pour onto the mothers, and you're more than welcome to bring your fruits, your clothing, jewelry, whatever you want to offer to the mothers to Mandir on that day. Again, that's Sunday, March 26th. It'll still be at 10 o'clock, and we'll just have an extended service. But Navratri is from March 22nd all the way to March 30th. For those of you who are tuning in, thank you again for tuning in to my Indira Didi, who's the only person who chatted, even though I asked everybody to chat. Jai Sita Ram to her and her entire family. To my nephew who is watching, he says, with the lighting, you look purple in the service. So I'm glad I look purple, because purple's a good shade on me. And it's also, it's Mahendra's favorite color, so I don't mind that. My father sent a few announcements too. He said for birthdays, we have 5 people who celebrated birthdays. So Ramesh Prasad, Uncle Ramesh, celebrated his birthday. To Roxanne, who celebrated her birthday. To Vimla, who celebrated her birthday. Shannon, and to my mother-in-law, Pinder Naidu, who celebrated their birthdays. Happy birthday to all of you, to all 5 of you. I hope you all had a wonderful birthday. I hope you had a fantastic week. As we know, February birthdays are great. I am only saying that because I'm a February birthday as well. So happy birthday to all of you. I hope you had a fantastic and wonderful week. There's not many other announcements that we have for the Mandir in regards to anything else that's going on. Again, just know all of those events are coming up in March, and we will still have one more in-person service on Sunday, February 26th. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. Until then, you all stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Have a wonderful, fantastic week, and I will see you all next Sunday in person, hopefully, if not virtually, for our regular Sunday morning satsang. Jai Sita Ram, everybody.